Big letdown. I can't tell you how many times I watched this movie. When I was a kid, it was a childhood movie. Both the movies, actually. I watched them constantly when I was a kid. I loved them. And then I had them on DVD and I watched them over and over again. When I went to my grandma's house, the first movie was on and I watched it anyway because I love these movies. But to be honest, even though, most people would be biased about a childhood movie, not a huge fan. Though, I do want to share a funny story before I do go to the actual review. I found out that this movie was bad like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe longer, when I was younger. And I saw like hate comments. I don't even remember what I saw them on. And I would defend this movie with my life. Because I loved this movie when I was a kid. I just thought that was something to share. So you might see one of my comments from like 6 years ago with like terrible grammar and defending this movie with my life. But anyways, Chris Evans does a decent job as Human Torch. I do remember him doing a way better job. So maybe he's better in the second movie. And I remember Doctor Doom doing a way better job. So maybe he's better in the second movie. Because I loved the second movie. I loved it more than this one when I was a kid. But, since I don't like this as much as I did when I was a kid, I might not like the second one either. There's a lot of cheesy puns in here. Some of them I can let slide, others are just like, really? Like there's a scene where Invisible Woman turns invisible after she says, "I just want to be seen," to Reed. And then Reed goes, "I can't see you." It's so fucking unfunny. Like, come on. I'm not a kid. I'm not gonna laugh at that. These are PG-13 movies, so even though, yes, I did watch these when I was a kid, these were targeted to a higher demographic. So you would think some of the puns would be a little bit better, even though it is an early 2000s movie. Speaking of it being an early 2000s movie, here's a post-credit scene. I think this is one of the first Marvel movies to have a post-credit scene. Because this came out like a year before X-Men 3, which is the first Marvel movie to have a post-credit scene, I'm pretty sure, besides this one. Because it has the whole Charles still being alive after being obliterated by Jean Grey. I do think my favorite line in this movie is when Dr. Doom is talking to Sue and he says 4 words to change your life. And it's supposed to be like a "will you marry me" scene, I'm pretty sure. Yet they say later in the movie they're not even dating. So it's so weird. But then Reed comes and says a 4-word sentence saying, "the cloud is getting worse," or something like that. Those are 5 words. But it's something like that. And I thought that was a clever thing. And then there is like a few lines here and there that are foreshadowing their powers and shit like that. Like, "oh, Reed stretches to the sky" and stuff like that. They're just kind of corny. The final fight wasn't even really that good. There's a scene where Doctor Doom is legit talking about Marco Polo to get Invisible Woman to come out of hiding. So, this movie is kinda silly. Speaking of which, Invisible Woman like strips down to her bra on a bridge to turn invisible because she doesn't fully understand her powers yet. It's weird, to say the least. And there is stuff that's kind of like other movies, like Doctor Doom choking someone, like, kind of like Spider-Man 1, when he chokes the dude and then kills him because he threatens to expose him to the world or whatever, something like that. So I did see that similarity. There is a scene too where Doctor Doom says a corny joke about hitting him with a heat blast and him turning to rubber. So it reminded me of X-Men 1 with Storm's line to Toad. But there really isn't much to talk about to this movie because there really isn't much to this movie. Half the movie is just about how Thing doesn't want to be Thing, and then him coming to terms with being Thing near the end of the movie. Just kind of a boring origin movie that occasionally has funny moments, but it's mostly cheesy. Really not that good of a movie.